Bore da. Good morning, everybody. First item on the agenda this morning is the appointment of chairperson. I am happy to chair this meeting this morning. Could I have a proposer and seconder, please?
I propose, Chair.
I second, Chair.
Thank you both. Good morning again, and bore da. So can I welcome you to this hybrid meeting of Cabinet on the 21st of November 2022. I am Councillor Steve Hunt, leader of Neath Talbot County Borough Council. Can I give a warm welcome to members of the public viewing this meeting this morning? And can I ask you to please ensure your microphone is switched off? You are here to observe the meeting only. Can I please ensure that your phones are switched to silent for the duration of the meeting? And also, would all members and officers virtually viewing this meeting please ensure that their microphones are switched to off unless you are speaking. In addition, when asked to raise your hand, if members who are virtually attending this meeting, could you raise your electronic hands? And for members physically present in the chamber, just raise your hands, please. Agenda item 3 is declarations of interest. Have any members of declarations of interest to give?
I can see no hands raised, Chair.
Thank you, Jane. That will take me on to agenda item 4, public question time. I have received no notifications for public questions. Can you confirm that for me, Jane?
Yes, we've received no questions.
Okay. Agenda item 5 is the Freeport bid submission. The report is on page 204 of your agenda pack. If I could remind members that the last appendix on pages 111 to 126 is exempt this morning, so any discussions or questions we need to be asked when we have agreed to go into private session. We have, luckily in our company this morning, is Andrew Hartson, Alice Jones from ABP. Warm welcome to you both, and David Gwynn from Euro Consultancies. They join us via the Teams. Officers, do you have anything further to add? Chief Exec, please.
Thank you, Leader. I'm conscious that we discussed a lot of the detail of this in private sessions, so members of the public wouldn't have had an opportunity to understand the detail of that conversation. But just really to summarise, the Council earlier this year supported the officers in exploring the opportunities around a free port within Wales, and we've been working since with colleagues in Pembrokeshire Council, Associated British Ports who are on the call today, and also officers from the Port of Milford Haven. What we're recommending today is that the Cabinet supports the submission of the bid for a free port that would cover the Port of Port Talbot and the Port of Milford Haven and surrounding areas, and that we are then given authority to further develop the bid over the course of this week, just to make the final amendments that are necessary in order for us to meet the deadline for bid submission. We're also proposing that Neath Talbot County Borough Council, in the event that the bid is successful, become the accountable body for the partnership. That would essentially give us the role of making sure that public money within the Freeport is being spent in accordance with the government's policy objectives. And we're comfortable as officers to recommend that to you, Leader. Also, as well, we're asking for authority for yourself to send a letter to the Welsh Government confirming this Council's support for the Freeport submission. And then finally, once the bid has been submitted, there is a job of work to do then to make sure that others are aware of the merits of this particular bid, which we think is particularly compelling, being linked to the opportunities around the renewable energy sector across South West Wales. And this proposal would give us first mover advantage, particularly around the development of floating offshore wind sector. So, as I say, Leader, I thought it would just be helpful if I just explained what the purpose of the bid is as before the Cabinet today. You've had an opportunity in the scrutiny session to get into the detail, but obviously if there are further questions now in the Cabinet meeting that you need to ask us before you make your decision, we'd be more than happy to help you with that.
Thank you, Chief Executive. Members, do you have any questions on either the public or private information contained in the report? This is for Cabinet members. May I emphasise that if you do choose to ask questions in private, then I will have to go into private, as you know. So can I just ask you firstly, have you any questions in public or private?
Councillor Llewellyn, Chair, has a question.
Okay. Arlene, please,
Yes.
Councillor Llewellyn.
Yes, thanks, Leader. It's partly it's not so much a question, but some comments really on the debate that we've had, with your permission, Chair, and it's appropriate for the open part of the meeting. I'd just like to thank everyone who has been working on this bid, both our own officers and Cabinet colleagues, and also all of our partners. This is a very significant proposal. It's a very competitive bid for a major economic regeneration plan, not just for the Port Talbot Docklands, but much, much further afield. And it's also a collaborative bid with our partners, the Association of British Ports, the Port of Milford, Pembrokeshire County Council, and very significantly with the support of the other local authorities in the Swansea Bay City region, our neighbouring authorities of Swansea and Carmarthenshire. I think this is a bid that's been submitted on a very different basis to previous free ports in the past, because it is based on renewable energy's huge Celtic Sea potential, and the potential of the UK steel industry and the local supply chain. The questions from scrutiny, I think, have all been very relevant, including Councillor Paterson's questions on our capacity to work on the bid. We know that our planning and economic development teams have been run down previously, due to austerity and so on. But I think that as a Cabinet, we have a commitment to increasing the capacity of our Directorate to meet these exciting and ambitious challenges. Not only the Freeport, but the Rail Excellence Centre, the Royal Fox Resort, and all the other economic development opportunities that are being inquired of us at the moment. As the Chief Executive mentioned earlier, inevitably a lot of this morning's discussion has been in private session due to the commercial confidentiality of submitting the bid until the submission deadline. But I know that there is a public launch later this week, which will be able to share much of the information that we've heard today. So I hope that I'm sure we'll all be in support of everything that we've heard during the debate and the report that's in front of us today. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Llewellyn. Do any other Cabinet members have any comments to make?
I can see no raised hands, Chair.
Thank you, Jane. Can I also echo the Deputy Leader's comments? And I mean, let's be honest about it. Some of the questions today were challenging. We know within the Council, with cost of living crisis, energy crisis, and inflation, and the capacity to deliver such large projects as the Deputy Leader has mentioned is always going to be a challenge. But it's still a very exciting time and prospect for those living not just in Neath and Port Talbot, as Councillor Llewellyn mentioned, quite a wider communities, not across Wales, I suppose, and down there in Milford and Pembroke. So I echo your comments, Councillor Llewellyn, and I think we need to now look forward to having a successful bid going forward for Neath, Port Talbot and Milford Haven. Okay, I see no further questions, so now I refer members to the recommendations on page 12 of the circulated report. Can I just note that there's a typo error on page 10 of the report? It should have read 25 million instead of 21 million. So with that amendment to the report, I would like now to propose the recommendation this morning. And can I have a seconder, please?
Second, Chair.
Thank you. If members wish to abstain, please raise your hand. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, whether electronically or physically, then I assume that you're in favour of the recommendation. Jane, can you confirm that this recommendation has been approved?
I can see no hands raised to the contrary, Chair, so that item has been approved.
Thank you, Jane. This will take me on to agenda item 7, urgent items. I have no urgent items for today's meeting. I would like to thank Andrew, Alice and David from APP for attending today's meeting. David from Euro Consultant, of course. And that would allow me to conclude today's proceedings and end this meeting. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you're all going to look forward to a Welsh victory this evening. Cymru am byth.
Come on, Cymru.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much, everybody, for your support. It's
Thank you
much
all. Thanks for your
appreciated.
attendance.